Next up is freshman Canon Erman, who wrestled 157 pounds this year for us. Canon, again, to sound like a broken record, last year was his first year of wrestling. He picked it up in eighth grade. Was really surprised he decided to come out. He was never one that I expected to. I always, when these kids are in seventh grade and I have them in class, I always try to get all of them to come and wrestle. The more the merrier. Canon was one I never really expected to come out and do it, but I was pleasantly surprised when he did, and even more surprised when he started, really picking it up. Cannon, kind of keeps his emotions in check. He never gets too high, never gets too low. Um, so it's sometimes hard to gauge where he's at, and he's got one of the driest sense of humors in the world. I mean, he is, very deadpan in his sense of humor. So it's a lot of fun working with him. And again, like a lot of these freshmen, he's a sponge. He wants to get better. He's always asking what he can do to get better. Um, One story that I really enjoyed from the season though was, while the freshmen were at a JV tournament in Coventry, him and Cannon and one of my assistant coaches, Coach Hennis, were talking about wrestling, and Coach Hennis was kind of asking why he does it, and all that, and Cannon said it's fun, and then he went out there and proceeded to win a match, and Coach said he had a big smile on his face when his hand raised, and he said that's even more fun, isn't it? Cannon agreed. So yeah, no, wrestling 157 pounds. It's a usually you're going to see a lot of upperclassmen, a lot of juniors and seniors, a lot of guys who are much stronger, much more well built than Cannon. But Cannon held his own. He was a fighter out there every single fight, every single match out there. He didn't care who he was wrestling. He was about to go wrestle the defending state champion. We kind of told him that before that. He just shrugged it off like, okay, and just went out there and tried his best. Um, on the season, Cannon did pick up 11 wins, 5 by pinfall. He had 11 takedowns, two total near falls, 6 reversals, and 10 escapes. Now, I'm leaving out some numbers there because at one tournament, Cannon had to wrestle his own teammate, CJ DePosky, and the two of them decided to just run up the score on each other. I think by the end of the match, they both scored 80 points on each other to the point where the scorekeepers gave up trying to keep score, and the official was basically just not caring anymore. I wasn't going to count those numbers in there because those would be school records for him and CJ. But that's they went out there and had some fun, and that's sometimes these tournaments drag on. They go all day. Sometimes you got to have some fun out there, and I have no problem with what Cannon did. Cannon also took third place at the Ron Alexander Memorial Tournament. Cannon is earning his first varsity letter. He does have the distinction of being the first. Him and his sister Piper, who we'll talk about later, are the first brother and sister to ever letter in Columbia wrestling. So they both made history this year. Again, we're really excited with Cannon. He's going to, surprise a lot of people next year, I think. His wrestling ability, you're just only scratching the surface of where he's at. If Cannon definitely gets in the weight room and starts, doing some more stuff in the summer, which he did a lot last summer, we're really going to see a different Cannon next year, and I'm really excited to see it because he's a really good kid. He's a really hard worker, and we're really excited to see how far Cannon's going to go in this sport. So, congratulations to Cannon.